5 years after Megxit sent shockwaves through the monarchy, Prince Harry stands at a crossroads.
Very famously said what Meghan wants.
5 years after Megxit sent shockwaves through the monarchy, Prince Harry stands at a crossroads.
Prince Harry is probably the biggest troublemaker the royal family's ever seen.
His royal ties are strained and his future uncertain.
Harry needs a purpose. Harry needs to have something to do.
Harry cashed in on spilling family secrets, but was left out in the cold.
When you lose that golden bond of trust, it's very hard to get back.
Once a prince, now a puzzle. Where does Harry go from here?
I think Harry is very lost. I'm not convinced that he fully realises it yet.
Could he find a way back into the army?
He loved flying. He loved the army.
Or even take to the stage?
You say...
There's a theatrical flair in the blood in that family.
Or will he peddle more palace intel for profit?
I am sure his publishers are emailing him every other day going, "Do you have another one in you?"
But can he learn from his mistakes?
He should know by now. Keep quiet, Harry. Shut up.
Could the royal family take him back, or has he burnt his bridges?
William will not have his brother back in the royal family.
Prince Harry and Meghan Markle step down as working royals to start a new life in Montecito.
Suddenly we saw this kind of perfect Californian version of Harry, who always kind of said the wokest thing he could think of. And it just didn't sit right. That's when I think the nation slightly turned against him.
Earning millions from royal exposés has left him outcast by his family, with no job, looking for a purpose.
Didn't he realise that if he stepped away from royal duties, he would be losing so much? He would be losing power, money, fame, protection, privilege, security, and the relationship that he'd had with his father.
How did Harry get here? And where can he go next? Prince Harry is the second son of King Charles and the late Princess Diana, and has always been a favourite of the British public.
He was such a cheeky chappy as a young prince.
He was a really characterful boy, very jolly, very positive.
Harry went on to serve his country with distinction, risking his life fighting on the front line in Afghanistan.
There's a famous clip of him speaking to the press, and then suddenly he has to get up halfway through the interview and run. And that's how seriously he took it.
Harry's love of the army leads him to set up the Invictus Games to help injured veterans.
The Invictus Games has been very successful, and you can tell he loves doing it. And it gives purpose to injured veterans, and it's given purpose to Prince Harry.
In July 2016, Harry meets Meghan Markle. There is an instant spark. But who is the woman who steals the prince's heart?
Meghan Markle, an actress from Suits.
Hi, I'm Rachel Zane. I'll be giving you your orientation.
Wow, you're pretty.
Good, you've hit on me.
Meghan is a very, very beautiful woman, extremely self-assured, extremely in control, and in some ways was exactly what Harry was looking for, because he needed somebody to sort of take control of his life and mother him. In the beginning, the British public were quite intrigued by Meghan Markle. There was a lot of curiosity about who is this person who's captured the prince's heart.
While Harry seems absolutely head over heels with Meghan, there are concerns that perhaps things are moving a little too quickly.
I think he was afraid of losing Meghan if he didn't get on with it and propose. And he did not prepare her properly for what life as a royal was like.
When Harry was dating Meghan, a few people did have a word with him, actually, to say, you're moving very fast. Have you done your due diligence on her? One of them was Prince William.
Of course, this went down incredibly badly. It was a huge row, and it was one of the very early signs of division between the two brothers.
Despite William's words of advice, Harry is left undeterred. And just 1 year later, in November 2017, he announces his engagement to Meghan. And in May 2018, they marry at St. George's Chapel, Windsor.
Meghan and Harry's wedding was extremely well viewed by billions of people across the world, and it was picture perfect, the most stunning, beautiful sunny day. St. George's Chapel in Windsor looked incredible. Meghan looked perfect.
But then 6 months after the wedding, reports begin to emerge that it was not as picture perfect as it seemed, starting with Tiaragate.
Meghan had been a bit difficult about which tiara she wanted, and Harry famously said, "What Meghan wants, Meghan gets." And you can only imagine all the ladies in waiting at Buckingham Palace, sort of swanning around the Queen, gossiping about this woman and whether or not she was just after Prince Harry for his money and fame.
During their first tour of the South Pacific as a married couple, the press report that Meghan said things which suggest she's ill-suited to royal duties.
Things began to turn in October 2018 on a South Pacific tour when Meghan Markle was pregnant with her first child, Archie. She was overheard saying that they could be getting paid for the amount of work that they were doing. This was the point at which the public, or at least the media, turned against Meghan Markle because it showed her ignorance of the way the royal family worked.
The same month, their then communications secretary makes allegations about Meghan treating their staff poorly. They deny the claims, but the damage to their public image is done.
The British tabloid press turned against Meghan Markle quite quickly. They said that, "Oh, we've been speaking to our sources in the royal family and she's a bully, and she's a diva, and she's demanding, and she's rude." Unfortunately, the tabloids like a storyline, and the storyline for Meghan Markle was, "We thought she was great, now we think she's terrible."
The following year, on a royal tour in South Africa, Harry let slip to ITV's Tom Bradby that cracks are developing between him and William.
There's been a lot of talk in the press about rifts with your brother. How much of that is true?
Part of this role and part of this job and this family being under the pressure that it's under, inevitably, stuff happens. But look, we're brothers. We'll always be brothers. We're certainly on different paths at the moment, but I will always be there for him, and as I know, he'll always be there for me.
When Prince Harry did the Tom Bradby interview in Africa, I cannot tell you how seismic it was. Because at this point, you never had any experience of royals talking about one another. It just was not done. Never complain, never explain. And here we have Harry honestly answering a question about whether or not he's fallen out with his brother and basically admitting to it. I mean, sure, trying to sugarcoating it, saying they had their ups and their downs, but basically saying, no, we're on different paths, we're not getting on. And it sent shockwaves through the tabloids.
In December 2019, Harry and Meghan opt out of the traditional royal family Christmas in Sandringham to join Meghan's mother in Canada. On their return to the UK, they drop a bombshell that calls the future of the royal family into question.
And then bang, Brexit happened.
They announced they were leaving the royal family, and actually they hadn't formulated an official statement with the palace. They just came out on their own and revealed this to the public, which obviously went down extremely badly.
But what could Harry do if he stops being a working royal? On January the 13th, Queen Elizabeth II holds a crisis meeting with Harry and Meghan to try and see a way forward.
There was a negotiation with the royal family in which the Queen was closely involved about, in effect, the terms of their exit. Because initially, it appears that Harry wanted to have it both ways. He wanted to go and pursue a career of his own, but he also wanted to continue to be a working member of the royal family.
I mean, nobody knew royal protocol better than the Queen, and she was like, there is no half in, half out.
Coming up, Harry's public image goes into freefall.
Everybody just went, hang on a minute, we embraced you wholeheartedly, and now you're making out that you had a really terrible time with us.
Harry sells the family secrets.
You want to find out how he lost his actual virginity in a field? He's going to spill those beans.
Prince Harry left the royal family to make a living on his own terms.
Harry underwent a real trial by fire. He left behind his entire family, tragic backstory, and he has joined this amazing new land called America with his amazing new American wife.
While Meghan has been making a success of her business empire, Harry has struggled to make a mark outside the royal family and now faces an uncertain future.
Who wants Harry?
By 2020, Harry and Meghan have put down roots in the billionaire's enclave of Montecito to create their Californian dream, with no expense spared.
Meghan and Harry bought an almost $15 million mansion with a $9 million mortgage, and it had 16 bathrooms and 9 bedrooms. I thought this was insane.
With a mortgage to pay and no royal purse to fall back on, Harry and Meghan have to find new jobs to make money and make it fast.
When Meghan and Harry moved to the US, Harry has his inheritance, etc., but they have to make money. So what they did was they did some deals.
Harry and Meghan signed a massive deal with Netflix, $100 million for a 5-year contract. Harry and Meghan were also very smart to sign up with Spotify. That was only $25 million. I mean, that's just nothing, isn't it?
In March 2021, they agreed to a tell-all interview with Oprah Winfrey. This is the first time they have spoken publicly since stepping down as working royals, and they drive a wedge through the monarchy.
My father and my brother, they are trapped. They don't get to leave. And I have huge compassion for that.
When Harry spoke to Oprah, he reflected the royal family as being a kind of prison.
We think that they have it easy, but in truth, it's a gilded cage, and they suffer from serious lack of fundamental freedoms that the rest of us take for granted.
Harry did reference in the Oprah interview that he was struggling to get through to his father. So an early sign that his father was beginning to cut him off.
I had 3 conversations with my grandmother and 2 conversations with my father before he stopped taking my calls.
So why did he stop taking your calls?
Because I took matters in, by that point, I took matters into my own hands.
But one allegation in particular causes huge damage to the royal family. Meghan claims there were questions over the colour of the skin of their unborn son, Archie.
Concerns and conversations about how dark his skin might be when he's born.
What?
The suggestion that someone in the royal family had made what they perceived to be a racist remark, by not actually saying who it was or in what context it was said, they sort of cast a shadow over the whole royal family. And then if you remember, Prince William, who hardly ever says anything, was on a job and was obviously asked, and he was furious, and he turned around and said, "We are very much not a racist family."
Can you just let me know, is the royal family a racist family, sir?
No, we're very much not a racist family.
And you could see then that I felt that the schism between him and Harry at that point was very wide indeed.
But that doesn't stop Harry burning more bridges. 2022 sees the release of their Netflix series, Harry and Meghan, and they detail their portrait of a toxic royal family.
Everyone tuned in to watch Harry and Meghan being Harry and Meghan.
To see this institutional gaslighting.
I wasn't being thrown to the wolves, I was being fed to the wolves.
And it was a sort of recreation of their love story and their exit, clipped up with little iPhone videos from, their freedom flight.
I said that we need to get out of here.
We are on the freedom flight.
Freedom flights, as I know it, are ones flying out of war zones. The wheels are taken off the runway just as baddies are trying to grab you and bring you back. It's really not the same thing, is it? A private jet with your dogs, probably a glass of champagne or two.
And it was deeply embarrassing, and it was clear that what they'd done was sold their experience in the royal family.
On September the 8th, 2022, the royal family is dealt a devastating blow.
Queen Elizabeth II has died at the age of 96.
After 70 years on the throne, the nation mourns the end of an era.
Hello. Sorry for your loss.
Sorry for your loss.
Only 4 months after the Queen is laid to rest, Harry drops Spare, his tell-all memoir, blindsiding the family once again.
It was really the final blow. You'd had the Oprah interview, you'd had the Tom Bradby interview, you'd had the Netflix documentary, and now finally there was Spare.
You want to know how he got the less good bedroom? He told you. You want to know about a fight that he had with his brother? He's going to tell you. You want to find out how he lost his virginity in a field? He's going to tell you that as well.
Spare was a #1 bestseller, but chief among the people that come off worst from his revelations are William and Catherine.
I think William must have felt very betrayed by that. Here was his brother putting something that really only they knew about into the public domain.
From a PR point of view, whilst it might have made a lot of money, it did not endear him to the great British public, and therefore, nul point.
Despite Harry's two-fingered salute to his family and country, the Duke and Duchess have taken America in their stride and are reaping the rewards.
When Meghan and Harry first moved to America, they absolutely went mad for it.
Spare was a mega bestseller all over the world. It sold millions of copies.
They are making the money from Spotify, they've got the money from Netflix. This book deal was a huge advance, and also he made a percentage from sales. So this is their golden moment to raise it and make as much money as possible.
After the runaway success of their TV series, Harry and Meghan are primed to make another hit for Netflix. For inspiration, Harry turns to his former comrades in arms and the charity he founded to help them, Invictus.
The first port of call is Invictus because it's got that army connection. It's for wounded veterans. He's genuinely passionate about it. It means the world to him.
I meet a lot of soldiers, some of whom were out in Afghanistan with Harry, and they do not have a bad word to say about him. They regard him as one of the lads, and they support him wholeheartedly to this day.
If your goal was to make your country proud...
But does Invictus make good TV? Will Netflix's millions of subscribers watch a documentary where Harry spills no royal secrets?
Harry did produce a couple of documentaries. The one was about Invictus Games, but it didn't really have the traction, didn't make the top 10.
With Invictus not pulling in the viewers, Harry's future as a TV producer is looking questionable. He turns to the other love in his life for ideas, polo.
Now, polo, to them may have felt like something fabulous. They were giving insight into the wonderful sport, the secretive sport of polo. But actually, it was a pretty boring show. People weren't interested in it. And again, it didn't have the Harry and Meghan factor.
For Harry, America's honeymoon period seems to be coming to an end. His career prospects are narrowing.
America is a very hard market to crack. Everyone wants to break the American market. And in terms of celebrity culture, Prince Harry's princey bit is only going to get him so far.
Within a couple of years, they'd lost a few of their deals. Boss of Spotify famously called them effing grifters. And actually, you know, they couldn't really deny this because the proof was there.
It soon became quite clear that they were writing cheques for situations that they were not earning the money to sustain. And then it started to suddenly look a bit Emperor's New Clothes. It was like, OK, you're members of the British royal family. What else have you got?
The last programme in their Netflix deal...
Let's go.
...is called With Love, Meghan. For once, Meghan steps out on her own, leaving Harry in the background.
With Love, Meghan is really Meghan at her most authentic self. You know, Meghan, when I knew her, was all about sort of the TIG. It was all about influencing. It was all about showing people little things that can really elevate your everyday life. And that's what she did. She transposed that into With Love, Meghan.
So now we have the brand As Ever that Meghan's brought out and the TV show With Love. And all the suggestions are that everything she's putting out there is selling out, you know, her jams.
I've been around the marketing sort of sector for years, and of course there's an opportunity there for the Duchess of Sussex to go and do her own thing. Yeah? But it's not one where brand Harry would fit terribly well.
Oh, there he is. He comes in at the final episode of Series 1 of With Love, Meghan, and just makes a cameo appearance. And I think it must have been a real revelation to him to realise he's going to be in the background of Meghan's life as well as the royal family's life.
With Harry's brand losing its shine, things go from bad to worse. In January 2025, California is hit by catastrophic wildfires, causing huge devastation to large parts of LA and the surrounding areas.
This is a live picture of Meghan Markle and Prince Harry.
Harry went to the Palisades, which was, you know, completely devastated by the Los Angeles fires. It was a terrible situation and families couldn't get back to their houses.
Harry and Meghan's attempts at support go viral for all the wrong reasons. Actress Justine Bateman sets the tone on social media.
Here's what she had to say. Meghan Markle and Harry are no better than ambulance chasers. What a repulsive photo op they achieved. They are touring the damage. Are they politicians now? They don't live here. They are tourists, disaster tourists.
Although they had done it, you know, with their hearts and wanted to really help them, it didn't look like that optically. And as soon as this was uploaded, people started chastising them, criticising them, saying this is disgusting, this is disaster tourism.
2 months later, Harry's increasingly tarnished image seems to be rubbing off on his charity interests.
You'll remember a big row about claims of bullying at a charity founded by Prince Harry called Centre Barley. Well, reports into the dispute today found no evidence of racism, but it did criticise all parties involved.
Harry may always have fancied himself as a bit of a philanthropist, but it hasn't always worked out.
The Charities Commission finds no evidence of bullying, but despite Harry's denials, he steps down as patron of the charity.
And Tabale, when he left the charity that he set up in his mother's name, must have been one of the hardest things he could ever do.
In October 2025, there's another blow for Harry when the Chad government cuts ties with African Parks, a charity he has long championed.
Any organisation that has the Duke of Sussex on the masthead, it's important, I think, for him to have a lot of transparency about how it's being operated.
Talks are ongoing to restore relations between the government and the charity, but the shadow of controversy is never good PR.
The Meghan and Harry debacle has been really toxic for all of Harry's charity work. There was a bit of a rumbling that Invictus may not even survive the toxic Meghan and Harry show, and that would really destroy him.
It appears Harry's career path is at a crossroads. The deals are drying up and lines have been crossed. What's next for brand Harry?
I think it's very difficult to protect a brand like Harry because in many ways he is somebody that we don't know what he's going to say next, and so that can cause quite an issue.
America is wising up to the Prince Harry shtick. If Harry wants to make it in America, he has to do it on the skills and talents he's got. What skills and talents does he have?
Coming up, with America turning its back on the Duke of Sussex, what other jobs could he do?
So here we are, Harry's CV. Quite short, look.
Some say that Harry might work in finance. I wouldn't personally leave Harry in charge of a child's money box.
A liaison between the posh and the rich? That's a job.
Prince Harry, the spare to the heir, Prince William. After a sensational departure from royal duties, Harry is living in self-imposed exile with no real job.
Harry, very blank sheet, because of course his job was being a member of the royal family. And suddenly that job, he's exited it, stage left, and he's now got to look for work with a couple of not very good A-levels under his belt.
He now stands at a crossroads looking for his next move. But with his unique background and checkered past, what job can an unemployed prince realistically do?
What can Harry do next? What he can't do is keep talking about the royal family forever.
So here we are, Harry's CV. Quite short, look. All on one page.
Unlike William, the heir to the throne, Harry the Spare never had the pressures of training to become king. But after Harry's wild early years, the first thing that stands out on his CV is the army. How attractive is a military record to future employers?
I used to employ quite a lot of people over the years, and one guy was actually ex-army. Yeah, they make good people.
Harry could rejoin the army. That's where his heart is, and it's where he was happiest during his formative years. He would have to be a figurehead in the army. He'd be good at it. The army wouldn't mind. The royal family would welcome it. And the general public would like it because it makes sense.
I think it would be very hard for him to find a future in the military, but I don't think it impossible.
He's had the training, he's got the goodwill of the men and women, but the trouble is you have to be a working royal to have those titles. He had to give up his honorary military ranks, which he, apparently by all accounts he was heartbroken about.
Harry also has a tendency to put his foot in his mouth, and that leaves a blot on his military record. When the publication of Spare revealed details of his tours in Afghanistan, he forgot the wartime mantra of keep it under your hat.
He stepped over the mark when he talked about killing possibly 25 people and treating them as chess pieces. A, you just don't talk about that stuff, but B, it can inflame the enemy.
He did break the ultimate army taboo, which is he discussed deaths in Afghanistan. You're never ever supposed to say whether you've killed somebody, whether you've seen somebody kill. It was so shocking when he revealed that he'd killed people in the Taliban that I actually don't think they'd welcome him back in on that reason alone.
As a captain in the Royal Marines, Harry could earn £52,000 a year. But the mortgage on their home alone is estimated to be at least $250,000 a year. So the pressure would be on Meghan to earn a few million for their outgoings. Harry has a problem. He misses the cut and thrust of the military, but he's left the royal family. With no way back in, how can he make the most of his thirst for action? One possibility is to brush up on his skills as a helicopter pilot.
I think Harry would love to be an Apache helicopter instructor. Harry loves helicopters because he loves the danger, the risk of being in the air, the fast pace. So I think it would really suit him. He's just an action man.
With spectacular scenery on the doorstep, flying around Harry's adopted hometown of Montecito could offer the next best thing to a foreign tour of duty.
I mean, listen, if he wanted to do it, he could always do Harry's tours, go to the Grand Canyon, have his fabulous helicopter, the royal tour of Yosemite Park, or maybe he could do it around Montecito. He could say, here we've got Tyler Perry, here the Kardashians, and over there is Mariah Carey.
The only thing that might hold him back is that it's quite a mundane job, so it's whether his ego or his wife would allow him.
A pilot with military training like Harry could earn over $100,000 a year, but that still wouldn't even go halfway to paying Harry and Meghan's mortgage. Harry would perhaps have to exploit other revenue streams.
He could maybe bring out a range of books with Sarah Ferguson, Budgie the Helicopter Mark II, or whatever.
If Harry can't use his military training, a different job option could involve something that the royal family are born to do: public speaking.
Remember that feeling of pride and honour when you first wore your nation's flag on your uniform?
On the right business circuit, Harry could exploit his royal training for a lucrative globe-trotting career.
One of the quick, easy wins, if you're Prince Harry or any royal, is to do these after-dinner speaking events. Now, you can get paid hundreds of thousands of pounds by, say, a Chinese company to do a 10, 15-minute after-dinner speech, so it must be incredibly tempting.
He could be a good public speaker, actually. He's confident. He's had an interesting life, and he continues to have an interesting life. He can earn big money on the public speaking stage.
He's still got that star power when a prince walks into the room, walks into, a pretty staid corporate environment, and you've got him there in front of you. It's a wow moment for your social media. It's a wow moment for you to hear some great anecdotes. And actually, it's probably worth every single penny that they invest in him.
Harry's unique CV and royal connections put him in an elite club of speakers.
If you look at previous presidents, if you look at previous British prime ministers, if you look at, titans of industry, it's a really natural path. It would appear that Prince Harry has registered with the Harry Walker Agency, who represent really high-profile global figures for public speaking events. Salaries are anything from 30 or 40,000 to $500,000, if you're a president of the United States or some kind of super megastar.
Former Prime Minister Boris Johnson could give Harry something to aspire to. Shortly after leaving office, Boris earned over £1 million from just 4 speaking engagements.
But if he's happy to kind of do 20 or 30 a year, then you're actually looking at a lot of money that's pretty lucrative, that he can do potentially well. It's not that time-consuming if you really think about it. And the rest of it, you can be a stay-at-home dad or go and do the things you love, which is charity.
But if Harry is to speak for high-paying clients like the big banks, he'll have to make sure they have a spotless record sheet. Associations with unethical businesses have been the downfall of royal speakers before.
But he could expose himself to criticism because, let's face it, not all banks are ethical. And a lot of companies that have a lot of money to spend on these kind of things may have dodgy dealings going on that could be exposed in the fullness of time.
The British royal family possesses one priceless commodity in spades: soft power. They bring influential connections to any business venture, and this could help Harry explore a less obvious career path: the world of finance.
Don't you have to have maths A level to be in finance, at the very least? I don't think the art A level is going to cut the mustard there somehow.
He would be what I call a wild card, in the sense that, we have on a shortlist, we will always have a candidate who we think is brilliant and a really good fit for the business, but they may have taken a slightly different path to get there.
But he is a posh bloke, and he's friends with other posh blokes, and they do like to give each other jobs. So I wouldn't be surprised if he resurfaces as a consultant, that's a euphemism, a liaison between the posh and the rich. That's a job.
A financial liaison officer could earn over £50,000 a year. But if Harry can skip the training and just use his contacts book to raise money for big businesses, the sky's the limit.
There is form for celebrities or famous people. I mean, Nick Clegg went to work for Facebook. He's admitted he earned $100 million. But then Nick Clegg was a politician. He was very, very smart and well-educated, and I'm not sure Harry is. I think Harry's much better at the charisma and the front of camera stuff.
My initial reaction to that is just to laugh. I wouldn't personally leave Harry in charge of a child's money box.
Any company wanting to bring Harry's personal cachet to their public image might not want to be associated with his own balance sheet.
I just wonder whether in the fullness of time we'll realise that he's up to his eyeballs in debts and bad deals that have gone awry. So therefore he wouldn't make a great face for a finance company, built around preserving wealth.
Given the way that they've spent first and then tried to make the money second, whereas most people do at least attempt to do it the other way around, those two seem to think that it would just naturally happen.
I mean, I'm 100% sure he's not going to end up living in a tent on the street.
Coming up, will Harry's Californian reinvention open up job prospects in mental health?
I think he could be a therapist. He's certainly got the kind of empathy to do so.
Could he be the first royal mental health guru?
Harry might need therapy. I doubt very much if he can dispense it.
Prince Harry and his wife Meghan Markle stepped down as working royals to escape the suffocating rules and traditions of the British monarchy.
In the US, you can kind of do everything. So that's good for Harry. But actually, we don't know what he's really doing. He's just going to be a stay-at-home dad. What's next for him?
With no real career to pay the bills, Harry stands at a crossroads. But the world of big business seems to have limited appeal.
He has done a lot of corporate work, but it all seems to have disappeared, and I think that probably shows he's not as interested as you'd expect.
What job can a non-working royal do next? Could he join his wife in the arts as an actor? Harry need look no further than his old-school Eton for upper-class role models who took to the stage.
Well, for one thing, he went to Eton, so that's a good place to start if you want to become an actor, because we know Eddie Redmayne, Tom Hiddleston, they all went to Eton.
Being a royal is acting. It's dressing up, saying your lines, going onto the right mark at the right time and saying the right thing to the right people. It's being on show. He's been trained for it, and on top of that, his wife's an actress, so they could be an actor-actress couple.
I think it not without its own irony that the play that Harry apparently enjoyed acting in was called Much Ado About Nothing, because that is what he's made his life ever since Megxit. Much ado about absolutely nothing at all.
The royal family have never been a comfortable fit in the world of entertainment. In the 1980s, Prince Edward's media career gave us It's a Royal Knockout.
It was absolutely dreadful. It did the royal family no favours at all.
Her Royal Highness, the fair Duchess of York.
It was very embarrassing for Prince Edward. We definitely don't like to see our royals demeaning their position. It sort of irks with the public.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Duke of Sussex.
But Harry seems to be wary of his limitations on stage. In a charity performance of the musical Hamilton, he resisted the temptation to sing the signature tune of his 6 times great-grandfather, George III.
You say...
There's a theatrical flair in the blood in that family because Prince Charles, when he was Prince Charles, loved acting at Cambridge. There's that amazing footage of Charles kind of doing a comedy role, wearing a mac. So there's that sense of humour as well that runs through the family.
If Harry bagged a lead role in a TV series like The Crown, he could expect over £35,000 per episode. If he reached Eddie Redmayne's level in film, he could aim for $2 million a year. But Harry seems all too aware that he'll have a lot of work to do to get to that level.
That's definitely not going to happen.
Harry has gained a reputation and made a fortune by being the first royal to truly open his heart to the world.
Nobody knows about trauma more than, the son of Princess Diana, who got killed in a car crash and then had to walk behind her coffin.
Harry Harry's spoken so much about mental health. He's shared his own mental health struggles. He's clearly a fragile, vulnerable, emotional person himself. And he's really right to say that there's no shame in it. We all go through it. Life is difficult and tough and complicated.
After spending so much time on the therapist's couch, perhaps he could switch seats and become the therapist.
Heaven help anybody who went to Harry in the role of Harry being a therapist. Harry's got more issues than I've had hot dinners. I mean, Harry might need therapy. I doubt very much if he can dispense it.
I think he could be a therapist. He's certainly got the kind of empathy to do so, but trust me, the money wouldn't be big enough.
If you were in therapy and you were ready to confess all your deepest, darkest pains, and you walked into the room and it was Prince Harry, you might not want to say all your stuff because he's probably going to blab about you in his next book. So I don't think you should become a therapist.
But therapy has now gone corporate. Harry already promotes the company Better Up, which provides therapy for big business.
If you look at the promotional videos that Better Up have done, Prince Harry's talking within those about the mind is something that you need to flex.
We all have greatness within us. Mental fitness helps us unlock it. It's an ongoing practice, one where you approach your mind as something to flex, not fix.
He seems to be very good at it. He seems to really care about the idea of a firm, a company, caring about the welfare of its employees. And of course, that's how he sees himself. He sees himself as somebody who was in the royal family, the firm, and his welfare was neglected, and his wife's welfare was neglected.
The whole wellness market's really interesting. So if you look at the role that he's doing for Better Up, it's an amazing business, and the growth they've gone through is absolutely phenomenal. Harry's role at Better Up is a Chief Impact Officer. The data that's available would suggest that it's anywhere from a 6 to 7 figure salary because he's got this big platform, he's got a wide reach. It will help really push and amplify their message.
For Harry, the Californian wellness industry could become his own personal gold rush.
If you were to look at arguably one of the most famous wellness gurus, Ravi Shankar, what he's achieved has been truly phenomenal.
Shankar's promotion of mindfulness and meditation have earned him an estimated personal wealth of $120 million.
Are the links or parallels between what he's achieved and what Prince Harry could go on to achieve within his career, within this area? Well, absolutely. And he's got this global platform.
Harry and Meghan stepped down as working royals to raise their children away from the pressures and constraints of the royal family. Meghan's Instagram posts show glimpses of an off-duty Harry that suggest he could make a career out of a role he clearly excels at, being a dad.
Harry being a stay-at-home dad is actually something that he could do very easily. I think he would absolutely love it. He adores his children, he adores his home.
Meghan has spoken about how they make the lunch boxes together and they do the school run together. Being a stay-at-home dad would be certainly breaking the mould for a royal, and he has spoken about breaking that generational habit that the royals have of neglecting their children.
He's always wanted to be a role model. He's always wanted to give back to society the things that he never got himself. Be a loving and present father, be a good husband, be emotionally intelligent.
Some say he's a house husband, but what does he do as a house husband? I mean, they've got staff. He's not going to do the hoovering, is he? I mean, what does he do all day?
If Harry can overcome his strict rules on family privacy, he could reinvent himself as a social media parent.
Maybe he could become sort of like a dadfluencer for billionaires.
When a pregnant Meghan posted a video of herself twerking to induce the birth of their daughter, it revealed a revolutionary new image for ex-royals.
I think it worked in a way that it created controversy. And it was their way of showing that actually we're really fun. We're a young mum and dad just wanting to have a great time and hoping that our child is going to have a fabulous sister or brother.
For a couple that insists on its privacy. For Meghan, when she was pregnant, to show a video of herself twerking, and then, if I remember correctly, Harry appearing on the scene, seems to me an extraordinary invasion of their own privacy.
Other posts from Meghan reveal a side of Harry that was first glimpsed in his royal duties, that he's clearly inherited Diana's famous affinity with children.
When he was a teenager or in his early 20s, whenever he interacted with children, just like his mother, he was very, very good at it. So of course he's going to be brilliant with his own children. Let's not forget, influencers actually make a lot of money, even if you're not world famous, like Stacey Solomon makes $600,000 a year. So imagine what Prince Harry could make. He's a world famous global icon.
If Harry exploits his position on the global A-list as an influencer, he could aim for stratospheric income. Kim Kardashian's net worth is now estimated to be $1.7 billion. By far the most successful money spinner for Harry has been the publication of Spare. Can he overcome accusations of cashing in on the royal family and write another blockbuster exposé?
Listen, I think the writing career could really continue. I think Harry has shown that actually he's quite entertaining. He's a good writer. He's interesting. He's articulate. And people want to read it. So actually, I can see maybe him having a few more books down the line.
And I am sure his publishers are emailing him every other day going, do you have another one in you? Spare 2, still spare. It could be something like that. That could be a title.
Or he'd write a book about Invictus and the army and his charitable endeavours. But he must have learnt from Netflix that, unfortunately, when he writes about the worthy causes, they just don't do very well. So if he wrote another book that wasn't about the royal family, I think it would be a flop.
Harry made £22 million from writing Spare. If he wanted to put more stories about the royal family into print, an obvious route would be to share his unique insight into one of the world's most enduring royal icons, his mother, Diana. And there's even more money to be made bringing her story to the screen.
In 2027, it'll be the 30th anniversary of Princess Diana's death. And there's a strong rumour going around that Netflix want to work with Harry on a documentary about her and his relationship with her. That immediately sounds like a hit.
I think the next 18 months will be very interesting. If he feels cast out and cut off again, then he might hit the nuclear button and do a documentary about Diana.
Well, Netflix have done a first look deal. That's how they are working with both Harry and Meghan at the moment. So first look on something like this, could generate them, 25 million, because we know everyone's going to watch it.
If Harry really wants to put the final wrecking ball on his relationships with the royal family, all he needs to do is to try and maximise the Diana memories.
Prince Harry's career ventures show a drive to shake off a dependence on the royal family for a living and strike out on his own. But future job options need to keep the royal family on side. So what's the best way forward now?
Pack up the press chat. Don't write any more books. Have a happy marriage and concentrate on Invictus. People will reassess your contribution to the world, and it'll be a positive one, because he's a good guy.
Coming up, with America losing interest in Harry, he returns to the UK. But after 5 years apart, is Britain still in love with Harry?
He's always come over here with a face like a smacked whatever, looking miserable, looking not very happy to be here.
I think the whole of the UK was kind of angry with him because they were done with it.
Prince Harry rejected life as a working royal to build his own career. But after turning his back on his father and brother, his future options are limited. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex have spent the last 5 years trying to make it big in America. But by 2025, their US influence is waning.
Harry's American chapter seems to be coming to an end.
It's not enough to just say, oh, I'm Princess Diana's son. You know, that ship has sailed.
Harry needs to look beyond America for new job opportunities. Will 2025 be the turning point for him to renegotiate terms with his father and come back to Britain?
Yeah, I think Harry did feel he was out in the cold, and he started to miss at that point the royal household structure that he used to rail against.
But in May 2025, Harry still had a deal breaker for any time he spends in the UK. He took the government to court to give him the security protection he used to receive as a working royal. He lost.
In effect, he's been told, you're on your own. If you need protection, you now must pay for that.
Harry's court case is his first visit to the UK in 15 months since Charles was diagnosed with cancer. But father and son never meet.
And that's when he let on that he was completely cut off from his father, to the point that he didn't know how his father's health was doing.
In a BBC interview, Harry's plea to reconcile with his family instead sparks rumours that the king is more seriously ill than was thought.
He shockingly said, I don't know how long my father's got left to live, which is an extraordinary thing for any son to say about a parent. What's he saying, that the king's dying?
As I said, life is precious. I don't know how much longer my father has.
Even if your parent is dying, you don't want to say all of that in a public interview. When is Harry going to learn not to serve up all his personal, private details to the public?
Harry's words make speaking to his father a more distant prospect than ever. And for the first time, he's in a place he has never been before. The British public don't love him anymore.
He was talking about himself and sort of woe is me was the attitude towards him. And I think the whole of the UK was kind of angry with him because they were done with it. You know, we're going through a really hard time in the UK. You know, economy is down, jobs are going, and it's very, very difficult.
And after that, I think he took a step back and he thought, that was a disaster. He was certainly told that was a disaster by his PR team. And I do know that he reads his own polls, and he looked at himself in opinion polls right down with Prince Andrew, who he loathes. And I think he thought, no, I've got to get back to what I was doing best before.
Harry's anger at the past seems to have only alienated him from his family and his home country. To stand any chance of talking to his father again, he needs to change his attitude.
He's always come over here with a face like a smacked whatever, looking miserable, looking not very happy to be here. And it's almost like he's gone away and had a little think and thought, hang on, I know what I've been doing wrong.
What we are seeing in recent months is that Harry does seem to be taking charge of the narrative. He's had a separation from Meghan in terms of their careers. So it does feel like he's moving away from Hollywood, from Meghan, from whatever he's doing, and really taking control again. Operation Bring Harry In From the Cold has very much begun.
In July, a leak to the press reveals the first potential step towards father and son talking. A secret meeting between Charles and Harry's PR people.
I'd revealed in the Mail on Sunday that his aides had had a meeting with Charles's aides in July in which they discussed a future meeting. And it was denied at the time that they were going to meet up, and so there was a lot of will they, won't they, will they, won't they.
In September, when Harry returns to the UK to visit his charities, all eyes are on any sign of contact with the royal family.
When we found he was coming over to the UK for the Well Child Awards, everyone was buzzing because they're thinking, well, actually, he's going to be here. His wife isn't coming, the kids aren't coming, it's just Harry. Is there an opportunity for him to see his father and have a chat with him?
The King, seen at church yesterday, was spending his accession day privately in Scotland. Whether he's going to travel to London in time to see Harry, the palace won't say.
Over the next few days, while the press track Harry and Charles's every move, Harry makes sure to put on a happy face for the public.
We had the old Harry, smiling, happy to be here, donating to charity, balloon jousting with children, and showing all that sort of great common touch that his mother had and that we so valued in him. And I saw immediately that people's opinions started to swing back the other way again. They went, here's Harry, he's back, the old Harry.
King Charles's mood seems to swing back too. 2 days later, he leaves Balmoral and heads to London. The press stake out Clarence House in the hope of seeing Harry finally meet his father for the first time in 19 months.
We got all the way to the afternoon, just when we were starting to give up. In comes the Range Rover to Clarence House. Everyone was trying to peer through the window, and we realised that the final meeting we'd been expecting but weren't sure what was going to happen really did happen. And it only lasted for 56 minutes, but it was a seismic moment for the royal family because at last the prodigal son had returned.
So when he was asked by the press after he'd seen his father, he was asked, how was it? And he said, it's great. And that feels honestly very genuine, and it feels like he wants that relationship with his father back. So that's exciting for Harry and also for the royal family.
As soon as these things begin to thaw, they'll go all the way, because I believe that King Charles himself wants to be in touch with both of his sons, that he loves them and that they love him, and that this is the way it's supposed to be. It's not right to not see your remaining parent for nearly 2 years. That's what I expect from a soap opera. It's not what I expect from any family, regardless of whether they're royal or not.
Charles and Harry seem to be letting bygones be bygones. So could Harry finally have a foot in the door to be half in, half out of the royal family?
In his mind, it's probably, OK, I'll pop over to Britain every so often, do a few duties, shake a few hands, meet a few children, do what I do best, endear myself to the British public. Then I'll get back on a plane and go back to LA and live my other life.
But no, Charles is insistent. Just like his mother, he believes you cannot be a half in and half out royal. So his hopes have been dashed on that front.
For Harry to rebuild a relationship with his father, Charles will have to be able to trust him, to respect privacy and stop settling scores. Many observers believe that Charles is using their meeting as a test to see if Harry would leak what was said.
Whether they patted him down and took away any recording devices or potential recording devices is another matter. But I guess it's a litmus test again. It's like, well, let's see how much of this gets leaked. Are you going to go back to America? Are you going to tell Meghan? And am I going to be hearing about it on the news the next day?
At first, it's looking good for Harry. But the following weekend, news reports break that suggest he couldn't resist leaking to the press.
Prince Harry has responded to reports in The Sun about what went on during his recent meeting with the King.
The quotes attributed to him are pure invention, fed, one can only assume, by sources intent on sabotaging any reconciliation between father and son.
Harry furiously blames palace courtiers for trying to make him look bad.
Harry will not leak anything that was said at that meeting. It would be too obvious, if nothing else. He's got 4 or 5 meetings further planned with his father, so he will have to keep these secrets going forward. And if by meeting 4 or 5 things start leaking out, then he might find those meetings dry up pretty quickly.
Coming up, King Charles may be coming on side for Harry, but what about the next king, William?
I think it's going to take an awful lot of bridge building for William to trust Harry again.
For the last 5 years, Prince Harry and his wife Meghan have been trying to live the American dream since giving up their position as working royals. Their popularity stateside may be beginning to wane, but Harry has just completed a successful trip to the UK, where the public got to witness the happy prince they once adored.
He suddenly came back. He was a different person. He looked like the old Harry. He was smiling. We learned that he'd had this meeting with his father. You know, he was back at charity dues, you know, sort of balloon jousting with children and showing absolutely everything that was so great about him back in the early days.
But there was one key person who refused to be part of Harry's charm offensive: William. When Harry arrived in Windsor to honour the 3rd anniversary of Queen Elizabeth's death, the former wingmen scrupulously avoided each other.
The two brothers were just 8 miles apart, but meet they did not.
It was just so strange to think that they were in the same postcode, the same county, for the first time in years, really, and yet they weren't speaking, and it was actually a bit sad.
William has never got over the hurtful accusations made by his brother since leaving the family.
It was really shocking, and it was really upsetting for Prince William. And in the build-up to the Oprah documentary, he actually went off his food, and apparently he was actually seen weeping in Balmoral.
But during his September visit, Harry makes a surprise trip to meet veterans in Ukraine. And he couldn't resist defending his allegations once again.
Prince Harry, who, by the way, turns 41 today.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, sir. Says that he did not air his dirty laundry in public by writing his tell-all memoir, Spare, and that his conscience on this is clear. The Duke of Sussex made the comments to The Guardian during a visit to Ukraine, days after meeting his father, King Charles, for the first time in 19 months.
When he was asked if he has any regrets, he said that his conscience is clear, and despite saying all the things that he did in his interviews and his autobiography, he's spoken his truth and he's happy with it.
I think what Harry has to do to try and make amends is to say, do you know what? I had my say, but maybe I put a few things out there that weren't really my say. They were just things that, you know, I revealed that I didn't have to. Maybe if he said something like that, rather than just a carte blanche, I don't regret any of it, he might make some way back with his family.
Don't be lured into saying anything beyond what you've scripted in yourself to say in speeches. He should know by now. Keep quiet, Harry. Shut up.
If Harry wants a new royal role, he and Meghan will have to obey what could be the most limiting condition of all: stop making money from the royal family.
They would have to keep their mouths shut. They would have to stop selling things about the royal family's private life for money. They'd never give these secrets to Oprah again, not to Netflix, not to a podcast, not to a book. They'd have to promise that they keep royal family's counsel.
They would have formally to agree to give up any kind of commercial activity, because you can't do that and be a working member of the royal family in receipt of public funds. And he would inevitably be accused of, in effect, benefiting from his royal status in pursuing his independent career.
Even if Harry satisfies all of Charles's conditions and is accepted back into the family, it may not be forever. When William becomes king, he will make the rules. In a recent interview for Apple TV with Eugene Levy, William makes it clear that he wants to make some changes.
It sounds like the monarchy will be shifting in a slightly different direction.
I think it's safe to say that change is on my agenda.
A key change for William will be to slim down the monarchy.
Tommy Lascelles was a famous courtier, and he is said to have said that the monarchy is like a rose bush, and every now and then you have to cut off a head to keep it going. That sounds rather dramatic, but what I think he meant was that from time to time the royal family needs slimming down. Anyone who threatens the reputation of the royal family will find themselves swiftly removed.
Now, Harry's got to look to the future. William is going to be king. And so Harry is actually, although he may not acknowledge it, for the longer term, more dependent on William than he is on his father.
I think it's going to take an awful lot of bridge building for William to trust Harry again. He's going to think that everything I say to him may end up being repeated somewhere. And when you lose that golden bond of trust, it's very hard to get back.
I mean, really, there is no thawing of relationships between those two men, and any reports to the contrary are not to be believed. William will not have his brother back in the royal family.
With William and Harry in deadlock, how can anything change between the brothers? Princess Catherine may hold the key.
I think Harry could get around the William problem if he got Catherine on board. If Catherine played peacemaker, and I think she'd be open to it because she is quite fond of Harry, or was.
For the moment, the crown is in the strong hands of 3 generations of Windsors. The royal family's future looks secure.
I think the monarchy is popular because it is a family, and it's much easier for individual citizens to identify with the members of a royal family than it is, for example, with a president in a republic.
With King Charles and Princes William and George riding a huge wave of public support, the question to be asked is, who wants Harry?
Who wants Harry?
Who wants Harry?
Who wants Harry?
I think the British public want Harry, but they want the old Harry, not the angry, Britain has done me dirty Harry.
Invictus quite rightly wants Harry. Meghan presumably still wants Harry. All the world child will want Harry.
Who wants Harry? King Charles wants Harry. King Charles wants to see his son again and spend more time with his son. Who doesn't want Harry? Prince William. For now.